During our sessions by posting questions over the web. Okay, this is how we treat our question and answer session. Okay, you may do so by signing in to Slido, which is slido.com, and by using the official hashtag for our event today, which is SECON 2018. Okay, moving on. For selected sessions, we'll be having a quiz, okay, by using Kahoot, which can be accessed at kahoot.it. Okay. This is actually only for selected sessions, and we will notify everyone before we start off with our game. Okay? And for this session, there will be prizes given to the top 3 winners. Okay? And okay. Without further ado, okay, moving on with our conference today. For everyone's information, in this first session, there will be 4 speakers. Okay? And each speaker will be given 30 minutes to present their respective papers. Okay? So, with a brief introduction to for our first speaker for today. Okay? He brings 20 years of experience in the IT and telecommunications industry across Asia Pacific region. Okay? And has worked in multiple leadership capacities across different organizations. Okay? Currently, he is the Managing Director for Cisco Systems Malaysia, to continue his true passion in helping clients leverage IT as a strategic enabler to deliver better outcome. Okay, so everyone, please give a warm welcome to Mr. Albert Chai with his paper entitled Digital Innovations Achieving Security Outcomes.
Thank you, MC. Salam sejahtera, selamat pagi, salam Malaysia baru, dan salam Sabah baru, datuk-datuk, tuan-tuan, puan-puan yang dihormati sekalian. Firstly, on behalf of Cisco, I want to thank Encik Daniel, Pengerusi Secretariat, for inviting Cisco Systems to be a speaker in your esteemed event today. I have 3 objectives in my 30-minute session. So the first is to give you a view of how government are transforming and why security is the foundation of your transformation. It's like a coin, right, with digital on the top and security at the bottom. They are joined at the hip essentially. So the first part, you know, why cybersecurity in your journey to reinvent government. The second part is on the what. What are the pillars that we should look at in building our security strategy and our security platform. Last but not least, a bit on a tour on execution. How an organization like Cisco, like governments around the world, actually execute a continuous security posture in protecting the value that you create to your citizens and to your businesses. 3-part. If I fail today, at least I have the first picture here that tell a million stories, right? So what you see here is the foundation of a building, of constructing a skyscraper, right? If you don't have cybersecurity as a foundation, you have no digital, you have no digitization, essentially, right? So security is the foundation of secure digital transformation. If anything, I leave this as the last slide later on. So it goes without saying that every country, every city, every businesses, every organizations In fact, every citizens and even soon many animals will be digital. And the most fundamental, digital is about connecting the unconnected. Whether it's connecting more people, connecting processes, data, or things. And as a government, we essentially have two primary objectives, or rather three primary objectives in our own transformation. The first is to embrace disruptive practices and new business model to deliver new services or more innovative services to your citizens and to your business stakeholders. Second, that you are asked in digital to do more with less, right? You talk about operation efficiency, right? You talk about automating a lot of manual, right, tasks in your administration. Last but not least, right, as Dr. Minggu was saying in his opening, right, your citizens, your rakyat want to consume services wherever they are, right? And as a government servant and employees, we have to be wherever the citizens want to be, whether it's in a branch, in a kiosk, on a phone, in your laptop, right, or even the chips, right, in your pacemaker, right. You have to be where they are. So we have to transform the experience of how our government employees and how our citizens consume services. So in digital, right, the implications is massive, right? If we talk about connecting the unconnected, we'll be connecting roads, bridges, traffic light, lighting poles, so that you can actually use those assets, right, to tell when somebody is in an accident on the road junction. And if you deliver the right insight or the right data at the right time, right, to the sensor, you can actually allow the first responder services to respond to the emergency quickly. In healthcare, right, when you have a sensor in your pacemaker, right, you would have the ability, right, to give real-time patient care. Right? So in a world where we are connecting the unconnected, which are millions and millions of people, sensors, and things, right? All these things and connections are highly distributed. Right? Your traditional perimeter of government has dissolved. Wherever you have a connections, whether it's a sensor, whether it's to a remote individual, that's where your perimeter is. And in this context, you see that there is a need of making real-time decision right at the age, like the patient that I just described, or the accident victim who need the care. Right at that moment, you need to change the traffic light. You need to have the security camera identify the exact location so your ambulance and police can arrive timely. Right? So you will see a massive transition in workload going to the cloud, workload going to the edge. Right? So it's about cloud computing, fog computing, where you have the ability to make decisions in real time, close to the sensors, close to the event. And we, the people, right, armed with a laptop, with a kiosk, right, mobile kiosk, we have to be stationed in anywhere, DATUK, Awam, Ilford, Papa, right, anywhere, wherever they are, right. And we all know, right, as a government transformation, you'll be using a lot of your assets as a platform for experimentation, for innovation. And because of all this data sitting everywhere, right, they are like the oil of our decades, right? We have the issue of persistent threat, right? We have cyber criminal, cyber terrorists, right, who want to profit from your asset, whether it's physical asset, digital asset, or your virtual asset. So these are the challenges that we face in thinking through the cybersecurity issues. Some data, right? So by 2020, just imagine 1 million of new devices, sensors, things connected. every single hour, right? And because of all this vector of attack that is expanding exponentially, right? Many of the threats are left undiscovered, right? For months and sometimes for years. In fact, 85% of organizations never discover threats in their organization, right? And 60% of organizations will be compromised, right? It's a very asymmetrical issues. Some data here. So as I spoke earlier on, right? If nothing else that we take away from this session, right? Just think of security as a foundation of everything we do, right? On the left, right? The value that you create, right? Your data, your asset that you use for experimentation, for innovation, right? Like what we have in the United States. The city of Pittsburgh, right, is turning the road, the bridges, into a platform for autonomous driving, right? Where Uber, right, is doing a lot of experimentation on digitizing transportation, right? So all these assets you have to protect, right? The data they produce, you have to secure, right? And cybersecurity is like a brake in our car, right? If you don't have a brake in the car, how fast can you drive, right? 2 kilometers an hour, 4 kilometers an hour, right? That's the max you can do. You can turn left, you can turn right, right? And last but not least, right? Without cybersecurity, you cannot innovate. There is no innovation. Just imagine every step of the way, right? Your concern is whether am I going to be compromised? Right? Is my data safe? Right? So these are some of the challenges that you face, right? So I talk about the business model. This is changing even for government, right? Government is turning into a platform to attract talent, platform for creating new regulations for digital, platform for experimentation, right? Where you use your asset, you open up your data in between government agencies, between private and public sector. Right? And now this is the challenge. Right? Cyber security, cyber threat has been industrialized. Today is a 1 trillion opportunity, right? So it becomes a very asymmetrical challenge for all of us, right? Because the reward is so big, right? If they hack into your system, look at Target, look at JP Morgan, right? These are billions and billions of dollars being destroyed, right? And just imagine, because it's persistent, right? You and me have to be successful every time in defending ourselves. But a cyber criminal has only need to be successful one time. Right? Anybody can become a hacker. I can become a hacker. I can subscribe malware as a service today, right, from the dark web. It's a service that I can get freely to hack into you. And for the last 10 years, the solution has always been adding more product after product, right? Adding a firewall, adding an IPS, adding an advanced malware protection, right? That simply don't work together. They don't talk to each other, right? I'll show you later on from our annual cybersecurity survey that adding complexity is actually harmful to keeping yourself secure because you have no visibility of what's going on, right? The last pillar, right? Who would you rather be, right? Many of you are esteemed cybersecurity professional. Right? One hand here, right? Hacker, right? The reward is millions and millions, right? And the other, right? Security professional like you and me, right? Like you and me, right? So where do you think the talent are going today, right? We're going to have a million shortage in cybersecurity professionals. Many of them went to the dark side. Star Wars, right? Dark side. Let me give you a few insight into what's going on in the market, right? This is from our 2018 Cisco cybersecurity survey, right? So we see increasingly, right, encryption has been used, right, to actually mask and hide malware, right? So how are we going to find and detect and respond, right, to malware in encrypted traffic? We see almost a 3-fold increase, right, in attack on an encrypted traffic stream. You heard of this, WannaCry, right? Self-propagating malware, right? No manual intervention, right? right, sitting, lurking in your data center, in your applications, ready to attack you anytime, right? Inside the track, if I drop a thumb drive in your office and say, private and confidential, right, employee salary information, you guess how many percent of your government employees will plug in the USB, right, into your USB port? I bet you it's 95%. Or plug it into a USB port. There you go, right? The start of the malware. And of course, a lot of insider tracks, like exfiltrating of data illegally. So to my point earlier on, right? For decades, we just add point product after point product, right? Complexity, right? More than half of us rely on 5 vendors, right, to create our security posture, right? More than half of security incidents are not remediated, right? And in Southeast Asia, in our latest survey, it takes 184 days before you find out you have been compromised. 184 days, right? Just imagine the damage done to you. So I have a bit of a pop quiz for you, Tuan today. Right? The first question: are we secure? Can I see a show of hands? Are we secure? You're obviously all very well educated, right? Very well versed, right? There is no 100% security. In fact, our former chairman, John Chambers, says there are 2 types of companies, right, in the world. Companies that have been compromised and companies that have yet to realize they have been compromised, right? So there is no answer to the first question because we are never secure. The right question we should ask our team, right? Our board should ask us is that, is our security posture effective? Do we have effective and efficient security posture? That's the first question that we should ask. Let me give you some more context, right? What is security posture, right? This is an equation that we have to solve, right, in the industry, right? Between threat, detection, and response, right? As I said earlier, if you take 184 days to find out that you have been compromised, imagine the non-financial harm it will do to you. So our objective is to compress the time between detection and response. This is the equation we have to solve. Today. So boring cyber question. Second pop quiz, right? How can we manage cybersecurity risk? Because cybersecurity is a risk management issue, right? It's to define the level of acceptable risk that we are willing to take, and then invest the security posture accordingly. It's not a question about reducing risk or mitigating or reducing risk to zero. It's about defining the acceptable level of risk. Like any other risk management issues, cybersecurity is a risk issue. So first, let me talk about the 3 pillars, right, to digitizing security. First is to start right at the top, as Dr. Nigo said earlier on, the culture, the mindset that we have in embracing cybersecurity. It has to be the fabric of everything that we do, from policy, processes, right, technology, right, and of course, bring the partner ecosystem together. As we said earlier on, right, we cannot protect what we can't see. Right? We must have the ability to see threats both locally and globally, right, so that we can defend, protect, right, what we can see. Right? And it's about continuous, right, improving our security posture, right? Continuous testing, assessing, right, how effective and how efficient we are. Put in place integrated control measures, right? Have platforms that talk to each other. So security, right, is our strategy. Right? Without security, there is no digital. Right? And it's just not a technology issue, right? It's about the people, processes, policy, right? of an organization. And seeing, right, I talked about one point I'd like you to consider, right, tapping into Cisco's global threat intelligence called Talos. Right? Today we see 6 times more than what Google sees, because Cisco carry 2/3 of the world internet traffic. Right? In fact, we block 20 billion of threats every single day. 20 billion. Right? Today we have agencies like Interpol, right, tapping into the Cisco intelligence feed, right, supported by 300 threat researchers. Right? It's something that Sabah government can actually tap into. So you have both macro and global intelligence, but also local intelligence. They allow you to respond in real time, right, to compromises and to threat. As we said, right, when your sensors, when your connections are everywhere, right, in Papa, in Kudat, in Sandakan, right, when your lighting pole, your street light, your roads are connected, right, you don't have any more perimeter to defend. You have to have security and yet control every single place, where your data sits, where your sensor sits. And how do we think of the technology piece? Right? It cannot be any point products after point product. We have to think architecture, but we have to think all the parts, right, working as one, right, in harmony, right, where you have your protection devices like firewall, talking to your IPS, talking to your malware protection, all talking to each other. But the most interesting thing I want to share today is visibility, right? Where, right, in your infrastructure do you see everything? It's in your network, right? We are postulating that you turn your network devices, your switches, your router into a sensor. Sensors that can see even encrypted traffic malware. Turn your security devices, turn your network devices into security devices. Because network sees everything. And today we can do up to 99.99% accuracy of any threats in your organization. Right? And last but not least, tap into Talos. Right? Talos gives you real time what's going on around the world. Right? Interpol is using us. Right? But some of the largest government organizations is using Talos, right, for their intelligence. For the last decade, a lot of investment has been to prevent, right, to ensure the right people, the right things have access to your network. Right? We have not invested enough in defending, right? In defending in real time. We have not invested enough in remediation, right, as an industry. So there's an opportunity, right, for us to shift our investment, right, from protecting, defending to remediation. Right? And all this using the technology that is already deployed, using your network as a sensor, and using your network as an enforcer. Right? So let me illustrate an example, right? Because as I said, security is not a destination, it's a journey, right? The best thing is what we experience every single week traveling on a plane, right? And let me show you, right, how the different parts of security comes together. Right? So before you board the flight, right, you have your policy, you have your access control, your immigrations and your passport check, right? Is to ensure that you are who you are, right? So we look at the who, what, where, how. We look at the threats, we look at whether the devices, whether you carry any threats with you, any weapons or any inflammable thing in your luggage, right? And imagine the scale you have to do when you start having to verify the millions and millions of sensors, right, connected to your roads, the traffic light and everything, right? You're going to have to do this at scale, automated with artificial intelligence that Dr. Mingul also alluded to this morning, right? And once you're in the terminal, right, and once you verify something is safe, you stop there. You don't, right? Because security is a dynamic process, right? We have to look at you as a passenger. We have to look at the employee of the airports, right, the staff, right, and assess them continuously in real time, right?
Think of insider threat. Right? Think of collusion between insider and outsider. Right? So we use machine learning, we use artificial intelligence in our network to tell you, right, based on your baseline, what is normal, that somebody is behaving abnormally. Either somebody is exfiltrating data from your data center, somebody is planting a thumb drive and create a situation that can steal your data. Right? Your server is talking to the applications that they shouldn't be talking to each other. Right? That continuous assessment of your security posture. This is what we call retrospective security. You can change your mind. When somebody is deemed safe during custom clearance, can be deemed unsafe later on. So again, right, traditionally we're using malware, sandboxing, IPS. Going forward, right, use your network. It sees everything. Right? Turn on the flow sensor. Right? Turn on the AI in your network and the routing and switching infrastructure. Alright, so what happens when you identify a threat? Right? A threat can come from anywhere, right? Is to real time lock them down, right? Segment them, right? Change your access level so that they don't cause threat in real time to you, right? So segmenting, right, the who, the what, right, and the where. And then with all your branch officers, right, more and more traffic are going to the internet directly, right? They don't go back to your data center. So you have to protect right at the edge as well, right? Where your employees, your government servants serve your rakyat every single day, right? So if you see in diagram, right, when you see a threat, real time, lock them down, right? And you have a full contextual analysis of what's going on, real time, right? It's like X-ray machine, right, working in Sabah government, right? Every single piece of activities is being tracked without us looking at the payload or the content. So if we're successful, right, if we work on this continuously, right, we can bring the industry average from 100 days down to hours. Today, Cisco and our customers and our partners reduce the time to detection less than 5 hours, almost real time. Right? Some elements to think through before I wrap off. Right? First, we cannot protect what we cannot see. Right? Expand your data sources, expand your threat intelligence. Right? Both internal and external threat intelligence. Right? We have cloud intelligence that we can tap into. Right? Have an integrated strategy, right? A platform strategy that allows all your security elements to talk to each other. Defend as one, right? So that you have full control and visibility before, during, and after the attack. Use analytics, right? AI, machine learning, right? And as we talk with millions and millions of sensors, right? You have millions and millions of alerts. Unless you introduce automation, there is no way we can manually, in the security operations center, deal with every single alert that comes in. So my last message, right? Some key takeaway, right? Security is a risk-based decision. It's a risk management issues, right? We will develop with you the acceptable level of risk and build the security posture to deliver that residual risk, right? Second, it's not just technology, it's people. It's a lot of enablement and training. It's about mindset and culture change. That everything we do, security has been in the fabric of it. Policy, right at the top. Dr. Minggu, Jack Daniel, it's a policy that we create for the rakyat, right? For the government employees. Right? We have to do this security assessment ongoing basis, right? Ongoing basis, right? To test our security posture. And Datuk 1, right? Threats are dynamic, right? With the industrialization of hacking, right? It's evolving so quickly, more quickly that we can grasp ourselves, right? And last but not least, right? Our enemy is complexity. The more complex the environment is, the harder it is for us to deal with cybersecurity. So, Datuk, Tuan, I want to thank you for your attention in today's session. And I want to thank Dr. Minggu, Encik Daniel, for inviting Cisco Systems to present your very esteemed event. Salam Malaysia Baru and Salam Sabah Baru.
So moving on, we will have a Slido session, okay, for Mr. Albert to answer some questions. For your information, for each question that is answered by Mr. Albert, will receive a gift. Only one question.
I think this is a lovely question, right? Because of open data and data sharing, not just between government agencies, but between government agencies and private sector agencies have been going on for months and years, right? But in Cisco is our philosophy that data should be shared, right? But shared securely, right? Making sure that the right data, right, is shared at the right time to the right people, the right thing, right? The context of the data sharing is absolutely important, right? So that if you have a full visibility and control, we can do that, right? There is one thing to share data at the wrong time to the wrong entity, right? At the wrong time, the wrong location, right? When you put the context in place, that piece of data is used in real time. Look at healthcare record. Healthcare record is the most sensitive data, right? But once you connect the patient with a pacemaker, a sensor, right? And there's an emergency situation, you have to retrieve his health record from a public hospital. That data, if shared in real time through an open API, will save the citizen's life, right? So the context of sharing is key, right? So the solution to this is visibility and control, right? Visibility of the context, why the data is needed, right? And the ability to control, right? I share this data just for 5 seconds, for 10 seconds, for 3 days, and the data access will be locked out, right? Automatically, right? All policy and process driven. Well, ransomware. I'll choose the first one. I guess that's the one right at the top, right? So in the past, our thinking has been, let's just protect the endpoint, right? I think I saw an endpoint ransomware, right? But the thinking has evolved, right? Because ransomware just don't sit in endpoint. They sit in your application server. They sit in your network, right? So our philosophy is that, right, anti-malware protection has to be everywhere, right? It's embedded in your network, right, in your data center, in your laptop and phones, right? So that when you see a ransomware in your end devices, you can inform all the other elements in real time, and vice versa. When I see a ransomware in my server, I can inform all the endpoint, update them, update their security posture in real time, right? So it is really, evolved into, anti-malware protections everywhere, right? So that has evolved quite a bit. So how well do we respond? We check ourselves, continuously. In fact, in our Cisco annual cybersecurity survey, right, and it's also published, right? Our efficacy is 99.95% efficiency, right? We still not 100%. They also 100% protection, right? We can happy to publish the report. You want to know how we're doing against our competitors or how we're doing against the marketplace. Happy to share that.
I believe that's all the time we should have.
Okay. All right. Once again, thank you very much. Datuk, tuan-tuan.
Thank you very much, Mr. Albert, for the interesting talk. So, everyone, I believe with the current trend in digitization in our public sector, it is best for us to assess and secure our environment with the right tools and technology. Okay? Moving on to our next speaker. Okay? He is the principal technology architect and security professional with 20 years of IT experience in security, ethical hacking, cybersecurity framework, security risk and governance, system analysis, big data, and Internet of Things, okay, just to name a few. Currently, he is the Chief Operating Officer for Vigilant Asia Group, a managed security service provider that strives to protect the integrity and security of their customers' data and documents. Okay, so everyone, please welcome Mr. KINABALU with his paper entitled Security Orchestration, Automation and Response. Okay.
Thank you, friends. I'm waiting for my slide to come up. I'm actually very bad in standing in one place and talking. So I'm going to try a little bit. Okay, so if you can't hear me, please do actually tell me, right? Good morning. Great, guys. Thank you. It's a wonderful crowd. And thanks to Mr. Daniel for bringing us here. Okay. How many of you are actually feeling sleepy? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, that wasn't part of that question down, I know that. Okay, the next 30 minutes, my job is to make sure that you don't blink. So what should I do for that is to show you whatever my friend Albert spoke about. Live hacking. Will that make you awake? Good. So let me do that. But before going there, I want to set a stage across over here. So I'm Clement, and that's all the awards that multiple governments have actually given. We work with 8 countries across this region, giving consultations for the governments, actually setting up the national cybersecurity framework for the governments, and setting up security for e-governance. That's what we do. So before I actually get into some few stuffs, in Vigilant Asia, as MC actually recognized, actually informed you just now, I want to actually pull some words from my friend down there, Mr. Albert. Whatever I need to talk for 10 minutes, he has already delivered. Okay? Thanks, buddy. Now the thing is, guys, there's been attacks happening all over the world. Is that correct? Everyone is getting attacked. The basic question that actually lingers on everyone's mind is, what is antivirus doing? Is that correct? What's firewalls doing? Why are they not actually stopping them? And why are we always losing? Let me show you some answers with some live demos with antiviruses. Running on my laptop. I'm going to use my laptop and I'm going to infect it with malware to show you how easy it is, as the knowledge required for hacking is actually coming down. You saved my life, buddy. Okay. Alright. I get more stressed out if I stand in one place. Now you see, there's going to be a different flow altogether. Alright, guys. So, antiviruses. Right. They work pretty much the same like a doctor. Is that correct? When you go and actually see a doctor when you're not feeling well, what do? You tell the doctor your symptoms, right? And the doctor, all he does is he actually maps the symptom to a known what? A disease, and from that he's gonna actually give you a lot of colorful tablets, isn't it? If you did not tell him the symptom, can he talk to you further? Right. Next time when you go to a doctor, just try it out. Hey doc, I'm not feeling well, tell me what's my problem. And you don't tell him anything else. Let him figure it out. He's gonna actually figure it out in actually next 5 minutes that you are cuckoo. Right? That's exactly how an antivirus works, right? If it actually matches a known virus or malware, it's gonna come and say, I actually caught him. The moment he looks a little bit different, it's going to actually come and say, he's a good guy. Is that correct? So all as a bad guy that I need to do is make the malware look a bit different. And that's what the bad guys are doing. There is 1 million variations of malware that is released every day. Right? And all our defenses are very static, but the attacks are very dynamic and they are continuous. This is the reason why we are losing, and all those bubbles are the outcome of it. Right? As Mr. Albert said, I'm sorry, but I want to quote you all the way. Now, as Mr. Albert said, there's a huge shortage in security professionals. Right? Even if I actually buy the products, who is going to actually deploy it? Who is going to run it? Who's going to actually see all those logs day in and day out? Who's going to filter it out? You don't have enough people. And that's where we come in. We actually set up everything in. All you have to do is pay the subscription without any investment. So that's what we do. Okay, now coming back over here, as I promised, right? He has already delivered my pitch of what's happening in the market, right? You no longer can have protection. You no longer can have prevention. All you can do is detection. And how fast you detect is how secure you are. Is that right? Okay, now, I'm going to go straight into two simple hacking, right, which we actually use day to day. Number one is, how many of us do not use, okay, please get my question correct. How many of us do not use Microsoft Word in this room? All of us? Right? Now, I'm going to actually take a Microsoft Word and I'm going to actually add a malware to the Microsoft Word and I'm going to save it together and send it to you. Are you with me? And I'm going to show you what happens if the receiver opens that Microsoft Word. I'm using Microsoft Windows 10 Professional Creator Update. All that is completely there. And I'm using actually Microsoft Office 2016. Are you with me? That's all that you have. You don't have 2017 or 2018 yet. Right? They released an update actually yesterday. I didn't have time to patch that update yet, but that has nothing to do with what I'm going to show you. So that's one demo I'm going to show you. The second demo I'm going to show you is something that we all actually hold day in and day out. The smartphones. Is there anyone in this room who do not have a smartphone? Who still is actually living with Nokia 3310? You know, that's the best phone you can ask for. Yeah, Buddha, okay. How many of us are actually having Apple iPhone here? Only few. Oh, you don't believe me? And you don't want to tell me the truth? Come on, guys, right. Now, how many of you are actually holding Android phones? Right, okay, fine. In this crowd, how many of you actually believe Android is secure than iOS? There's only one. Hey buddy, you're all alone, man. Don't worry, I support you. But for all the others who have actually put up your hand just now and said that, we all use Android. When I ask the second question, how many of you feel that Android is secure than iOS? You don't put up your hand. My basic question is, how do you have the heart to use a product that you don't believe in? Why would you do that? Right now? Okay, stop. Guys, for all those people who feel a bit low because you're using Android and you believe iOS is far more secure in a way, please tap your back and sit down straight, because the truth is Android is far, far more secure than iOS. Oh my God. Apple guys are gonna so hate me, man. Right. No, I'm not actually plucking numbers from thin sky down here, right? I'm actually quoting Symantec Threat Report 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017. All these 4 years documents are public documents. When you have time later today, download them and you read it, you will find consequently every year iOS mobile vulnerability is far more greater than Android. In 2014, iOS had 168 operating system vulnerability versus 12 in Android. You see the difference? The same difference here and there. It actually goes up and down, but it's been on an average from an operating system level, Android is far more better. But let me clarify one more stuff, which might not be good news a bit, but the moment you start installing applications into your Android phone can become a possibility of 98% vulnerable of being attacked by malware, because most of the applications you're downloading from Google Store are malwares. It has nothing to do with the Android. It's the app that you're downloading, and you are making it worse. You know by what? Next. I agree. Allow. Finish. Correct? Why do you do that? We are in a security conference, right? Come on, guys, but why do you do it? Now, let me ask you a very simple question, my dear friends. How many of you in this room who has connected to SHANGRI-LA'S Wi-Fi? Tell me the truth. I got my friend like that. No one. Okay. Cool, right? And let me tell you straight, that Wi-Fi is compromised. At least for the last two hours. If you want to know your passwords, come and tell me. I'll show you. Right? Free hotspots. I don't understand the human psychology. We might have unlimited data packets in our phone. The moment we have free Wi-Fi, we connect. And we freely give away all our data, and then we talk about privacy, data integrity, and security, how to achieve. You understand? Okay, now, I don't have much time. I'm going to get actually going on because my company actually sent me over here, asked me to talk about solutions, not about problems, isn't it? But I have to tell you the problem, right? Okay. So, well, I'm going to use a few simple stuff. And to prove a point, I'm going to use all freely available tools without using any commercial ones that you cannot reproduce. Are you with me? But reproduce with caution and do not add courtesy implement in it. Are you with me? Okay, good. So let me get started. Okay, now I use this guy. They gave me this and they stripped me off with this. Now it's back. Okay, thank you, Ari. Thank you. Sorry for making your life difficult, right? Okay, now, password. Everyone keep their password so simple that they can remember all the time and they reuse the password everywhere. Is there anyone in this group who do not use same password in more than one site? I do have people that I can keep in museums. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4. Okay, fine. Now, let's get started, right? So, there's a free tool, okay, for those who can't see it, right? If you can't see it, if you don't understand me, you're supposed to tell me. Remember, you're not supposed to even blink and sleep. Right, keeping quiet is illegal, okay? Right, now do you read it? Good. So this is a free tool called as Empire that is running on Kali Linux. Both of them are free. So there's nothing much down there for you to worry about. Hackers are those that sit underground with a hood over here and write a lot of zeros and ones. Alright? So, it's a free tool, and I actually typed a few lines to save some time down on here. So I'm just running an execute that runs and creates a macro which is having a malware. So let me show how that macro looks like. That cute little stuff is very nice to see. Okay. So cat/tmp/macro. That gives you how it looks like. 10 years back, when we were doing hacking, we used to write all of these. All these non-readable stuffs are those that bypasses your defenses. Right? And you see this PowerShell.exe. If you're an IT guy, you will know that PowerShell.exe runs automatically on your Windows 10 or other Windows 8 and above. And as an IT guy, you will never go and shut it down. There's another stuff you don't want to actually shut it down. It's called as SVC host. Is that right? You know what happens when you shut down SVC host? Your Windows goes out of the window. Right, so let's come back over here. All I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this guy and I'm going to paste it into a Word document. To be a hacker, the first skill set that you have to acquire is Control-C, Control-V. Right, so I have an invoice document, whether it's invoice or purchase order or sales order, whatever, right? So, I'm going to go away view macro, and I'm going to create an auto open. I'm going to create this across. All I do is Control-V. Right? And I'm expert in copying and pasting. So, I save it across, I close it. Are you with me? And I close this document. I can send this document via any email attachments. Nothing picks up through the stuff. But I don't have time to send it and wait for another 2 minutes to come down, right? So this is my local machine. The machine is fully patched and it's having an antivirus. Right? I don't mind that those guys are going to throw stones at me. That's not only that antivirus. All of them. Okay. Now, let's come back over here. And I think I have my friend, my girlfriend down here. Don't throw stone at me. Okay, where is he? Identify yourself. Trend micro. Okay, right, so fine. So now, you see this guy down over here. So the work is done. I closed this. So this is the window that opened up the macro, right? So I leave it there. Let me come back over here. Invoice open. Okay, so there is nothing coming up saying that there is a macro, enable content, disable content, nothing comes up, right? So if I go to view and macro, let me check whether he's still there. It's still there. I created auto open and Microsoft created document underscore open because Office 2016 is now having a built-in security feature to scan for any macros for malware. By just putting auto open, I have injected the malware before even Microsoft started checking on it. You understand? Right? Microsoft has been doing a tremendous job in putting a whole lot of check. But the bad guys always find a way in. Right? So anyway, so coming back over here, so we opened it. And you see that initial agent. So that Microsoft Word actually injected a PowerShell malware right into the memory of your computer where your antivirus is not looking. From the memory, he is now reporting back to my hacker mission. Are you clear with that? Let me connect to it. And you don't have to learn programming, it's simple English. You know what the interact means? Talk to it. Right, so I'm going to talk with that ID that it actually identified itself. Now I am in the machine. How do I prove it? Info. Is that showing what's my machine operating system is? Windows 10 Pro, it is also, oh my god, it's a data leakage. My friend is not going to so like me because he's my operations guy and I have told him what's my domain ID is. Data leakage? Anyway, Windows 10 Pro, it has a whole lot of details. Now I can do a whole lot of stuff over here by actually killing the WinWord that actually is running on my machine down here, right? A lot of stuff can be actually done from here because now I am sitting in the memory of that computer. One computer is enough to take over the entire network. You don't have to be a ransomware. Your ransomware only can earn him a one-time bounty of a few $1,000s. If I'm sitting in your entire network and I'm controlling the data, I have every day opportunity to make money from the data that you're creating. Do you agree with me? Yeah, so good. Now, so since I don't have much time, I'm going to actually quickly run into my second. 12 minutes. Oh my god. I've been talking too much. Right, exit. Fine, get out, buddy. Okay, now, I want to quickly do another freaky stuff. Android friends, do anyone want to give your phone for my demo now? All I'm going to do is, I'm going to actually inject a malware into the app that you're using currently. That's all. So that I can actually stream the phone camera onto the projector. Anyone? Well, I'm not doing anything. You can believe me, I can remove it back. I'm a good guy. Believe me, I'm a good guy. So anyway, well, someone is calling me and I'm going to be so rude in, oh what? It's my wife. She's going to be so pissed off. My husband switched off. Okay, now, good. So she had no clue that I'm in front of you. Now, so what I'm going to do here is, this is Samsung Note 8. Are you with me? And how many of you actually use Pokemon Go? She went to that. Okay. So there are people who can identify now, correct? So, I don't want to actually mess up my Waze and my WhatsApp, right? Because same thing is going to like work on all of those apps. So I'm going to actually take Pokemon and I'm going to inject a malware into it, and I'm going to copy it into my phone, and I'm going to disconnect this wire. Right? And let me show you what happens to this phone. Are you with me? So you understand the objective? So let me quickly go on. Again, I'm not going to use any commercial stuff. I can show you the command that I'm going to run. You are free to reproduce as long as you do it for good reasons. Okay, so that it goes, MSF Venom, and I'm actually taking a Pokemon Go.apk file, which is the original Pokemon Go, which you can actually check for those who knows how it works. And I'm actually injecting an Android Metapreter reverse TCP to connect back into my Kali Linux IP address, and it's gonna actually pipe it back into a new APK file, so you can see two files rather than me injecting straight into one, and then you do not know which one is what, right? So that goes on. It quickly, okay, what it does is, it actually strips off the original signature or the encryption key or the signing key of the APK file, and keeps it separate. It actually decompiles the APK file. Then it actually starts adding a lot of permissions that all of us very happily, willfully click on, allow, allow, allow. Right? And then it's going to actually inject a malware into it, it's going to repackage it, sign it with the same original key, so Google Store will not find any difference in it, and gives us back an APK file. Are you with me? And that's what is happening as I'm talking. Right? I'm just filling up time. So it added a whole lot of permissions, the same permissions that your Waze is asking. How many of you using Waze in Sabah? Okay. Right, fine. So, do you remember all the permissions that you said allow? Locations, okay, contacts. Then what else? That's all? No, it had a whole lot of stuff. It asked you about your media, your camera, a whole lot of stuff, right? Okay, now, so, come on buddy, output. Okay, now, let's get going. So that's it. So you can now see the Pokemon.apk file right over here. I'm going to copy that into my phone. My phone seems not to be connecting to this guy. So I'm going to remove this guy, put him back, and see whether I need to authorize the guy to connect. And that opens up my phone. That's good news. And this is the time when all of you should close your eyes so you don't read what's in my phone, okay? It's all because you didn't give me your phone. So I'm going to copy and drag it and I'm going to paste it. You are not reading anything behind, okay? You're not reading. I believe you. Alright, so that's copying down now. So once it copies, I'm checking it out. And I'm setting up a simple listener in the MSF console so that when the connection comes back from the phone, it can actually receive the connection. That's it. So now what I'm going to do here is I am going to actually disconnect the cable. So technically I'm not connected. Is that correct? Okay, so now let me get into my files. I'm actually opening Pokemon APK file. I'm going to use one of you, my friend over here. So do you want to install this application? And you're saying install, correct? So good. So it's installing now, and he is your witness. You have to believe him. I know you don't believe me anymore, right? So believe him, huh? I don't know who is he. But I know he must be an important person to be in the VVIP seat down here, right? Good. So I'll make sure, sir, your face comes up in that project. Don't worry. App installed. Open. Good. You see that? No, you follow, don't allow. He has not even actually clicked a single allow. He just opened the app. The app has now initiated a connection onto the hacker machine. Are you with me? Now he goes for the customary allow. Alright? Yeah, he has no choice. If he says deny, the app doesn't run. Is that correct? He has no choice, right? So anyway, allow SMSs, allow your contacts, allow your audio, allow. Take it, buddy. Phone calls, make, who cares? Location, I don't need to worry about it, allow. Your media, take it. There's no privacy. Video camera, live with it. Right, so, the one who has used Pokemon, my dear friend, is that Pokemon? Good. So, he's loading. Hey, come on. The timer is running. Okay. Right? The guy is noisy, right? So I'm going to make him mute. Be quiet, be quiet. The only one who has the right to talk is me. Close it. I leave it. Okay, in his hand. So I'm no longer a magic man. So coming back over here, what can I do on that phone? I can actually dump all the SMSs, all the contacts. I can make calls, I can receive calls, and I can do a whole lot of stuff, including streaming from that phone, which is not in my hand. How many of us leave our phone outside our bedroom when we go to sleep? Alright. Whether we sleep with our family member or not, we sleep with our phone. Right? Okay, how many of you take the phone into your bedrooms? Sorry, into your bathrooms? Tell me the truth, tell me the truth. One guy. I love you, buddy. You're truthful. Now, as soon as I'm running out of time, I'm going to quickly get in over here and type a very simple command, which was in there, up there. You don't have to learn anything. Just replicate what's up here. Right? Webcam stream. And that is actually, sir, can you lift that phone in your hand, sir? Can you lift that phone in your hand and start showing my direction? The resolution is big because of the projector, so I'm going to actually make it smaller so that things is more easier. He likes you, right? Alright, so now let me quickly change the resolution of the camera feed that is coming from there. Okay, just hold on, guys. Just hold on, buddy. Get out my way. It's 4 minutes left. Right, so right click, open with other application, leave path, select. Come on, and I'm gonna actually come back over here, sir. You can actually leave it down there, sir. I'll pick it up shortly. Width is equal to 600 and image dot height. My English is bad. If I'm making wrong spellings, please do tell me. Right, file and a save and a close and a very okay. Refresh. Hello? See good? Yeah? Refresh. Good. Put it on your hand. So that I can deliver my promise that I'm going to take you to the projector. There you go. The phone is not having any light in the back nor in the front. He is sleeping. Technically, you have no clue that I'm sitting on the phone. This is a sample of how things are done out there. What difference are we talking about here? Right? So what we did is, so when we know exactly what's happening down there, okay, now it's time I have 3 minutes to finish why I'm here. Right? So as again Albert said, and I quote Albert, my friend Albert. Right, slide please, slide. Come on. Hello? Yeah, got it. So the problem here is, guys, the mean time to detect, 180 something, right? Yeah, 180 days. There have been actually cases, it actually took 3 years for them to even know about it. Let's take that 46.2 million that we lost from all the telcos. It took us 3.5 years. Whether it's Deloitte or actually Equifax, they took like 2 years, 3 years. Do we have a similar infrastructure in our offices? How many more years are we going to do? actually detect. If you're not able to detect, you will not be able to respond. Is that correct? So the real problem is detection and response. So we built something as we call it as Security Operations Center 2.0. Why is this 2.0? Your 1.0s are built on SIEM, Security Incident Event Management, which is not helping us. It's making our life more miserable. You know why? Tons and tons of logs, you don't know where to start from. Correct? When you get into the lunch later, when you have actually a nice, a buffet spread, all of us will have a slight confusion where to start. Is that correct? Same problem with all the logs. You don't know where to start. The more time you're going to spend, the ransomwares or the lateral movement, you're already taken over the entire infrastructure. So what we have built here is a very simple, unique solution that you don't have to worry anything. We actually drop a simple agent because, guys, remember, a malware do not live in a firewall. Do you agree with me? Yes. A malware do not actually live on your routers and switches. Correct? A malware cannot live on a network pipe because it will die. Is that correct? The only place a malware can live is your endpoints. Is that correct? That is where it's going to infect. That is where it's going to actually multiply. That is where it's going to move across. Is that correct? And we have left that at the mercy of antivirus for a very long time. We changed that. And we actually drop a simple, small agent that runs as a service in your computers, whatever operating system you have, that actually monitors the memory and the processes, not your hard disk. You can copy the world's disastrous malware into your hard disk, I don't care. For him to run, he still has to come into the memory. Okay, make sense? The problem with the logs is, you get all the logs, you do not have the context of the attack. For example, you might have known that there is a malware trying to actually communicate to a CNC server out there, but you do not know how did the malware actually enter into that server. You do not know where he is actually sitting, you don't know which process he has hijacked, you do not know all that registry settings that he has modified. Is that correct? Now where do you start from? The more time you're going to spend on so-called as investigation into days and months, the guy is going to have party time on your network. So we changed the whole thing. Since I don't have time is up. He's going to kill me out, right? So I'm going to go straight into, you remember the Word document that we opened just now? That would have triggered an alert across over here, right? So I'm going to actually pick up something, right? So when we get an alert from your endpoints, whether it is a mobile device or whether it is your desktop, your laptop, your iOS, your Android, and all of that, we get the entire forensic data of your kernel where all that malware action is happening with the alert. Your investigation time now is 0. Are you with me? Right? So, I'm trying to open up that investigation screen that comes with the alert. I'm connecting through my mobile phone with one single bar. Yeah, I got it. You see that? Okay. So, all of this action happened. Hold on. Hey, buddy. Where am I? I want to show them the VBA macro, the one that initiated the whole thing. You remember that macro that we dropped in? The PowerShell macro? So we opened a winword.exe that actually dropped a VBA macro. Okay? And it also invoked the svc host.exe. svc host.exe actually invoked IE, and IE connected out to unknown IP addresses and started uploading your data. Are you getting me? All this information are already given to you when the alert comes. Now, the response time. So, mean time to detection has been reduced. Mean time to respond, our security automation automatically sends a command to kill that entire process. Let me show it to you from manual. Okay, this is not what happens. This is automation, but for your clarity on what we can do, let me open up the WinWord. It's a process. You can see that, right? It's a process that is actually opening up, and I can send action across, and you can see this run over here. I can quarantine, I can fetch and clean it for you, I can kill the entire process. And I can actually do a memory dump, suspend the process, and resume the process. This is what we call as the next generation, your 2.0, to reduce the detection time and eliminate the response time so that you have something to fight. Again, you do not have to have like 10 people or 15 people in your offices to do that. We already have them sitting in KL, right? And our service will be here in Sabah. There is no data getting out of your computer because all we see is the kernel and the process, not your data. Are you with me? So no data leaves your premises. So this is what we do in Vigilant Asia. Okay, thanks for your time. Sorry if I'm actually shoot up. Yeah. Any questions or anything that you want me to answer? I think I don't have time. I have to be.
I believe we'll continue straight to the Kahoot session.
Yeah, go ahead. Okay, that delay is not me, okay? Okay, frame lock. I spoke too much. Fine, so.
Okay, for everyone's information, you can access the Kahoot session through the following address, kahoot.it. Okay.
Do you want me to stay here or can I go down or what is it? I go down? Okay, good. Thank you guys, thank you. Have a great day.
Join in the count session by entering in the game pin 71543 and please create the username. There's no more people joining in. We can start off with the session. Congratulations to the top 3 winners. Okay, you may collect your prizes at the organizing committee counter. Okay, so without delaying further our session for today, let me give a brief introduction on our next speaker. Okay, our next speaker is a veteran in the business analytics industry with more than 25 years of business intelligence in research and development, support, IT, sales and marketing. Okay? He also created and developed a printing and advertising company from startup to $1 million in annual sales within 2 years through sound strategy formation, effective business planning, creative sales techniques, strategic partnership, and innovative marketing. Okay? Currently, he is the Senior Vice President for Stratec Group's Big Data team, which is currently working on an IoT solution in assets tracking and facial recognition solution. Okay? So everyone, please welcome Mr. Basil Sim with his paper entitled Big Data Security Analytics, a Weapon Against Cyber Security Attacks. Please.
Good morning everybody. It's exciting, but I'm going to actually blame it on Daniel to put me behind the 2 typo of security. How am I going to follow that, man? With Clement taking over your phones and the PC, I will never be able to do that. Okay, I'm no cyber security expert, but I have been doing analytics a lot. Okay, and over the last few years, data there's so much data coming out of it. If you talk Clement and Albert talk about all the data coming from all the new devices and all that, it is actually a good platform for people like us who will be able to analyze the data. Right? So we have so much data coming in. But the cool thing is the technology allows us to crunch so much data so quickly, and in order for cybersecurity to work, we need to crunch it so quickly and to be able to help you respond to it quickly. Right? So, presentation. Sorry. Anyway, so what I'm going to talk about is a tone down from cybersecurity. Okay, it's actually how we use big data, and you look at the things that Albert talked about, and also Clement talked about. It's really using a lot of analytics, crunching, machine learning, and AI behind the scene. Right, each different product, and big data actually will be able to help you look at it across the board. Okay, and I'll talk a little bit about that. Okay, it's not coming up. Something to this. Okay, we're back. Where's Clement?
Asking me?
So, you guys remember war games, right? You remember war games? For those people who knows war games is a movie that was a long time ago. Right? At the time, this kid called David was able to actually use his dial-up computer, dial-up modem, and get into any computer, right? And he got into this government computer and thought he was playing a game, a war game with the computer. Right? The only way for it to get to solve the problem actually is to let the computer play tic-tac-toe. Hey, what's going on? Alright, we got hacked, man. Where's Clement? So I'm talking about war games, right? So at the time it was a movie plot, but it's no longer a movie plot anymore, right? 1983, this thing doesn't look possible. But at this point in time, with what Clement has shown you live, hacking into your system, it is possible. It is here, right? What am I going to do? No? Sorry, guys. Okay. So it was far-fetched in 1983 and no longer a movie plot today. So there are lots of numbers that's going to be that is crushed by Clement and by Albert, talking about how many malwares attacks being launched every day, right? So 230,000 new malware launched per day. So there's so much data, and this thing is residing, like I said, it's on the endpoint, it's all over the place in your computer. So how do you detect them? 230,000 is a lot of malware launched per day, new ones. Right? So if you look at what Warren Buffett said, cyber attacks is the biggest threat to mankind. Right? It is disrupting your work. It is costing you money. It's closing down company. It's costing you a lot of things. And in the government, it's even worse, right? All the data, all the civilians' data that you're collecting, that you're interacting with, this data is so important, and how do you protect them? Right? And in the next little while, you're going to see more and more. Average cost of data breach is 150 million. Right? For a small company, for a mid-sized company, you wouldn't be able to handle that. Right? You'll be in trouble when you do that, right? So I'm just going to go through, because a lot of these things are already done by Clement and also by Albert. So I'll talk a little bit about where the big data can help. So what are the causes of cyber attacks today? Again, first of all, is the data. You have all this data. You have your phone. Actually, phone is the worst culprit, because you're downloading the data, you're getting email, you're getting attachment, and you're actually taking data out of your office. What happened with that phone? You lost the phone, right? And those data are lost. And PC, mobile, those are the worst things. But data is one of the culprit causes of cyber attacks. So how do you protect them? People is the weakest link, right? Although you might be negligent, although you know the policies, they might have policies and procedures, but if you don't follow them, you don't think it's needed to be followed. Those are the things that Clement, again, my friend Clement actually said, right? People is the biggest problem, right? I did application, I download an application, it's fun to play with, and now all of a sudden I'm compromised. When I'm compromised, my company is compromised, right? That's the biggest problem. And technology. I talk about mobile. IoT is the other one. Albert talked about all the IoT, the machine-to-machine devices. You're going to see more and more of this. And these are the devices that you don't think of. It's small, it's at the edge. And it's one of the weakest link of another weakest link of the entire process, right? So you don't protected. As soon as they get to the device, they will be able to actually compromise your whole network. And the other one is definitely policy, right? Lack of policy. Don't know what new policies will be. People don't follow policies. So those are the 4 causes of cyber attacks. And there's so many products. Just depending on the products, like what Clement talks about, Vigilant, what they are doing today. Each individual product has their own alerts. Each individual products are very good at what they do, right? So the prevention-focused products is not good enough anymore, right? There's too many of them. There's too many alerts that's coming in. It's just too. A lot of alerts coming from all these points, all these products, all these areas where you even put your own alerts, alerting what's going on, what's happening, right? And if you take a look at it, take a step back, these alerts are based on the things that you know today, right? They are rule-based. That means I already know what's happening. Albert and Clement talk about what are the things that you don't know, right? Something that's a little bit different, something that looks a little different, you say, yeah, they are okay. They are not a threat to me. But those maybe are the worst ones because they're starting to ruin, sitting in your system for 184 days, harvesting all your information. That's very bad. That's too much. How are you going to handle it? Looking for a needle in a haystack. That's where I think big data would come in. Big data, artificial intelligence, machine learning are something that is that would apply to cyber security, because at the end of the day, big data has been applied to all the other industries and doing quite well in harvesting data from disparate sources, getting information from disparate sources, and be able to actually help you get the right insight, right? So if you look at the artificial intelligence and the machine learning part of it, is I harvest all the data from all these different sources, disparate sources, and I apply artificial intelligence to it. We're knowing it, automating what you already know, and actually sitting there and learning and harvesting things that you don't know, to be able to say, hey, there is a positive, and there's a negative threat, there's a positive thing. So you will be able to actually look at your system internally and to be able to help you understand your data, right? So big data, artificial intelligence, and machine learning is a perfect combo for cybersecurity. Okay, as it is for other industries, it is definitely for cybersecurity. And I'll go through a little bit on how things would work, right? Because if you don't use artificial intelligence and machine learning and big data to do it, the attackers and the intruders are using it. They are trying to understand who you are, right? They're already doing it. So you look at it. They are the ones who is already going into your system, sitting in the system, and what Mr. Clement said, right? That they are inside, sitting and looking at your vulnerabilities, right? So where are you vulnerable? Where are you? Where can I exploit your area? So sitting there waiting for 184 days, saying that, hey, this guy password, I know how to get him. This guy doesn't even do this, and I can use his account to harvest this, right? And then you'll talk about also identify which data is more important to breach. When you're sitting there, you look at it and say, hey, this data is coming in, I can use this because it's going to make me more money, right? So at the end of the day, they're already using artificial intelligence to do their work, to create the malware. Why don't you use it too, right? So there are definitely tools out there that allows you to actually look at it from a holistic perspective, right? So there's two things that you can do. There's two things of data, big data security analytics. One of them is the machine learning. To be able to understand the data, harvest the data, learn from it, look at the positive and the negatives, and you'll be able to go through. And the other one is rule-based. You need both of them, right? Rule-based are the things that you already learn, you already know. A lot of the tools that actually harvest data before are rule-based, because now you already know that something is happening. Now, to make sure that it's automated, it doesn't happen again, right? So there's the rule-based part of it. But you need the machine learning to actually sit there and understand your data, understand new patterns, understand new criteria that's coming in, and to be able to make use of that, right? So getting the data, how big data work would be, you have a lot of archive data in the system. How do you actually take this archive data and understand all the threads that was already there, right? That has happened. You subscribe to something like Vigilant Asia, you'll be able to understand what's there, what happened, how can I solve it, what are the problems, what are the resolutions to it, so that you can actually group all your alerts to understand the data, right? The other one is to discover your data, right? You correlate, you discover potential threats that's in there, so all the data that's coming in, to be able to find that malware that's sitting there for 184 days, right? So how do you actually identify those patterns and those kind of ideas? And after that, using AI and ML to predict different kind of threats, to predict when the threat is coming in, who are the vulnerable area, where is it, how should I actually protect my data. And you try to put everything into one view. Okay? So instead of going through all the alerts from multiple products, how do you actually have it in one view? Okay? Better still, you instead of one view, you get somebody else to protect it for you, right? So that so you can learn from that. So from a Gartner perspective, it's simple, right? You predict, you prevent, you detect, and then you respond. Clement talked about MTR and MTD, right? It is the mean time to detect it and the mean time to respond. How do you respond? But in order to do that, you have to continuously monitor it. You have to continuously analyze the data. It's a journey. There's no destination, right? You have to continuously understand and monitor it with analytics, continue to find out what are the new patterns, how the patterns are. So with Gartner talking about predict, prevent, detect, and respond, you need to kind of adapt that kind of adaptive security architecture. Okay, a new generation of security tools. So basically, in a nutshell, you acquire the data from all your sensors, all your data, all your activities from the networks and everything else. How do you acquire the data? Getting the data in. You have billions of records, you have millions of alerts. I'm pretty sure in your system, in your IT department, you're getting millions of alerts on a regular basis. There's so much that you ignore some of them. Which one is important and which one is not important? You got to be able to deal with that, right? And then, how do you actually categorize them? The email that has a thread, the Word document that has a thread, and all these. How do you actually categorize them, right? Automated in categorizing them, so that the millions of threats, alerts that's coming in, actually 11,000 of them. Okay, so you are able to categorize and move them into more manageable sum. And once that's done, you will be able to actually apply the algorithm that you have learned. Right? The algorithm that I created because during the discovery stage, to be able to have the machine learning that's sitting there and understanding what it is and how you actually solve the problem. Simply, like if you look at Vigilant Asia, and what they do is, once you analyze the thing, once you know what it is, you have a choice to say, kill it. You have the choice to say, just protect it, right? Stop it. Or whatever you do, somehow you have to make that decision. But I'm going to tell you what it is. So depending on the severity of the problem, you will have to understand how to deal with it when you find out what the problem is. There's no point getting an alert and you don't know how to fix the problem, right? So that's where it comes in. You have the alerts. Now, from 11,000 alerts, now it's going down to maybe 300, right? And 300, now you have to go and see how you deal with it. Either you're using a chatbot now, or you're using log a call to your call center, depending on what your process is. Or you use Vigilant Asia and let them deal with that. Either way, at the end of the day, you got to be able to react to it, right? So you have the machine dealing with it automatically, and then there'll be some that you don't know what it is. Then somebody will have to deal with it. Right? Somebody has to investigate, or get an expert to do the investigation for you. And at the end, whatever that solution is, whatever you did, whatever answers you did to the alerts, you use it to train the algorithm again. It goes back to the algorithm so that when it happens again, you can detect it quickly. Or you can prevent it from even coming in. So at least you start training the algorithm again. So the idea of machine learning is that there are unsupervised part of the learning, and there are the supervised, semi-supervised, and the supervised part of it, right? So the unsupervised ones are the ones that I already know. I know how to deal with it. The machine can deal with it. Then the semi-supervised or the unsupervised ones are the ones whereby you need an answer. Should I kill it? Should I protect it? Whatever it is, you got to be able to train the algorithm again. So it's a cycle thing, right? You have to keep on improve your algorithm. Right? So the big data trend, from a big data perspective, right, felt that definitely artificial intelligence and machine learning will dominate the security domain. Right? Now that you can predict human psychology, right? I can predict when a threat is going to come in, who is my vulnerable person, human in my organization, and how to protect it with policy. Right? The other trend that we believe is that the machine can actually use unsupervised learning to actually look at unlabeled data, right? So there's a lot of labeled data that I already know. It's those unlabeled data that I need to know whether it's a positive data in my network, or it's a negative ones, right? And how do I deal with it? What do I need to do? So the artificial, the technology today in the big data world is able to help you understand that part of it. And definitely, artificial intelligence will be the most robust tool used for safeguarding your data. And the reason being, like I say, you have so many disparate sources. How do you actually put that into one view? How do you actually take all this data to be able to join them, link them, and get insights out of it, right? And that's where big data comes in. Right? So some tools that's out there that you can use, right? Definitely, we work with Vigilant Asia, and their tool is as a service, right? It's actually monitoring it. And not only your data, it's doing it across the board, around the world, so they have data that's not even pertaining to you, right? So now, those data actually will be very valuable in the sense that whatever they learn, they can apply to you, right? So before you even get attacked once on ransomware, certain ransomware, they already know how to fix it, how to detect it. That's one possibility. And if you want to do it yourself, there are other tools like Armor, right? Taking 100 billion, and come up with only less than 4% that's malicious. Similar to what I was talking about, right? Unattended, be able to actually crunch the numbers, and then you get semi-attended attended kind of supervised kind of learning, you'll be able to actually get the rest of it. And the malicious attack is 4%. If you want to really go for a product like that, or even an open source like Metron, whereby you can ingest all the telemetry data and to be able to make sense out of it in one view. So some of the threats, I think these things have been taught by Albert quite a bit already. Internal threats, some of the things that can be fixed, data breach, advanced threats, IP theft, fraud, more. The list will continue to grow. Right? New malwares can come in, new attackers are going to try new things, and it's never going to stop. This is not just a complete list. This is just some of them. Right? So in summary, right, data explosion, massive disparate sources, and data collected continues to be challenging, remains structured, unstructured, need to analyze and respond it in real time. So you need to really understand this data. You need to be able to get this data within your organization, and how do I actually join them and look at it holistically. Right? The hackers are already using it. Right? More sophisticated programs are coming up, and it's harder to detect. And I say that because you're going to see more and more of it. It's not easy. Sitting in your system for 184 days is a very interesting stats, right? And it goes undetected. Just imagine that you have all the security tools that you've bought, and every government organization already had those kind of tools, and it's sitting there for 184 days. That's pretty interesting, and it's pretty interesting stats to have. And just looking at it, with all this mountain of information, using AI and ML to help you actually make sense out of the data, to be able to understand what it is, to be able to grow with it, to be able to come out with some learning, and to be able to protect you on a regular basis. And again, it doesn't stop here. It will continue to be worse. You're going to get more data, you're going to get more malware, you're going to get more sophisticated malware, and handle it. Right? And the reason why, like I say, that we partner with Vigilant Asia is you take that headache out of your equation and let the expert handle it is the right way to do it. Right? They are able to digest all these mountains of information and to be able to actually make sense out of it and help you protect your data. So in summary, that's basically my 2 cents of it. Why big data plays a big role in it. Definitely is an interesting time, even for the analytics and the data scientists that's out there. A lot of them are pointing towards cybersecurity because of the amount of data and the challenge part of it, whereby your algorithm got to be a continuous learning kind of algorithm. Okay? Thank you very much. And I still blame Daniel for putting me right after Clement and Albert.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Bassett, for the talk. So I think we'll proceed to the Slido session.
AI and ML can do it in two different ways, right? If you already knows the threat and you already knows the pattern, you know how to solve it, you know how to fix it, there's no reason for it to happen again, right? So AI can actually take the automated way for you so that you can identify what are real threats and what are not real threats. So the algorithm sitting in your system should be able to actually help you decipher through all those alerts that are coming in and actually categorize them properly and for you to be able to deal with that kind of information, right? So that's more like a rule-based kind of algorithm. But the other way, using machine learning, is an algorithm that will learn from the data, looking at patterns that's coming in, looking at patterns of how you use the data, where the data coming from. So you understand this machine learning algorithm sitting in the system should be able to learn from it, getting new variables, understanding, looking at patterns and say that, hey, this pattern from this machine is different from that pattern. Why is it different? And you continue to learn from it. So this machine learning algorithm should be able to actually even predict new threats that's coming in. Like what Clement said, you already know this person has this kind of sickness, and for a person with flu, this is basically all the symptoms. But then he has something that's different. Now, is he not sick? Right? So how do you actually take that extra things and make sense out of it so that the algorithm can actually know that that is another variant of flu that you're getting? So the two ways is again rule-based, whereby you already understand it, automate it so that it can be fixed immediately, right? Respond immediately. And the other one is to learn from it, continue to learn the data, continue to learn new things that's coming in. I'm always getting A, B, and C, but today, how come there's a D that comes in? What does it mean? Right? Then you've got to make some sense out of the D, right? The variable D that comes in.
Okay, thank you for the explanation, Mr. Basil. I think we can proceed with our next Kahoot session. Okay, I believe we can start with the session. congratulations to the top 3 winners. Okay, you may proceed to the organization, the counter, in order to collect the prizes. Okay. So a brief introduction about our last speaker today, our first session. Okay. He has more than 10 years of experience in cybersecurity, information security, data protection, security solutions design and architecture, as well as compliance and privacy. Okay. Currently, he is the lead solution architect for IT security at Inspira Enterprises, which focuses on next generation security operations center, as well as the automation of security operations. Okay. So everyone, please welcome Mr. Supravat Maji with his paper. Okay. How artificial intelligence and machine learning are redefining cyber security.
Hello. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning to all. The topic we'll be covering now is artificial intelligence and machine learning and how it basically helps to mitigate the solutions related to cyber security. So before that, I would like to thank our previous guests. Like, they have already covered most of the things. Like, if you say about the cyber security, Mr. Albert and Mr. Clement already covered that part mostly. And the artificial intelligence, machine learning, also Mr. Bashir, he already covered most of the portions. But yeah, so I'll just take that forward. I'll just take it forward and put it strongly how we should use machine learning and the artificial intelligence part for the better cyber security scopes, right? Yeah. So these are basically the definitions. What is the artificial intelligence is, right? So in a layman language, if you see, so it's like you act based on your experience, right? You can say like that. So artificial intelligence is basically you are keeping your data, keeping your responses secure, and in going forward on the future, you will act based on whatever the experience that you have, right? On that basis, you can identify a particular event is malicious or it's a clear traffic, right? So that is called the experience or the intelligence that you have already within your environment, and based on that, you can act against those kind of events, right? The machine learning is basically, a part of the learning process that, not many but now you have different layers of security. You have firewall, you have your IPS IDS, you have your anti-APT proxy solutions, then your DLP, email gateway, OS gateway. So there are so many different. Either you can go also, but the problem is the response time will be more, right? And it's hard to manage the SLA. So whatever SLA we sign, it's hard to manage with the manual, the analysis, right? And that is the reason we are more focusing on the automated part, right? Now, next, there are some statistics that we got from some of the resources. So 78% of security analysts no longer trust on the antivirus tools. Even Mr. Clement already mentioned in his the last session, right? Now the problem is may not be with the features of the antivirus solutions, but maybe the problem with maybe infrastructure. So each and every solutions, antivirus solution basically needs to send a signature or patches to the endpoints. So there could be a possibility of low bandwidth and all those things are there, right? So there are features along with your infra things are there, right? To manage these things. So that is the problem of, so you see that most of the times your analysts, they are busy with the antivirus solutions, to tackle how to, upgrade your machines and all those things, right? So that is the reason. Then we see that 99% of malware hashes are seen only for 58 seconds, right? So as mentioned that the number of, the malwares are coming day by day, or it's huge. The number of new malware patterns, the variants are so much, so that each and every signature, for each and every malware, signature generation is a bit difficult, right? So that is one important point. Now 16% of malware samples are virtual machine aware, right? Now, if you say about the zero-day attacks, right? The malware which is newly generated, problem with that, you don't have the signature. Your traditional antivirus doesn't have the signature for that, right? So it will automatically bypass that particular layer of security, and it will go for your next level of security, right? And it may be possible that you'll hit your endpoints, right? So in that cases, we use a new solution that is anti-malware solutions, which is basically APT, anti-APT solutions. Now, what we basically do there, it's a kind of sandboxing solutions. We use to execute that particular file or the traffic inside that virtual environment and see what is exactly its behaving, how it's behaving, so malicious behavior or the normal behavior. But if you see the newer generation of malwares, they are very much intelligent. Then they will not open inside of a virtual environment. They will keep quiet, and when you pass that particular traffic to the to the next level, it will go and sit on your desktop or laptop, and then it will start its own work, right? So that is a problem. Most of the malwares are very much well aware of your virtual environment. Then we have few more statistics like malware and web-based attacks. Those are mostly nowadays. So malware, I have explained, the web-based attacks is like most of the DDoS attacks that got into, like maybe your portal is going down, your services is going down because of huge traffic, like maybe TCP flood or the DNS flood is there, right? So those are a couple of things which is basically faced nowadays, and we need protections, strong protections around those particular the attacks, right? Now, this particular slide tells about the needs of machine learning, right? The artificial intelligence. The first point is skills to ingest massive data streams, right? So as you mentioned that as you grow your infrastructure, grow your business, you need to invest more and more. You need to expand your business. Maybe the other part of the world, right? So do that, you need to invest so many devices, you need to get so many different layers of security. Your number of endpoints will go high, your number of security devices will go high. And those particular devices will throw a lot the events, the incident, right? So the huge amount of incidents or the events you need to digest, you need to ingest, you need to analyze all those different events, and then you have to come to a point that those events are malicious or those events are clear or legitimate traffic. So that is a problem, right? Then we have the constantly evolving malware variants. So as I mentioned earlier also, nowadays the number of the malwares which is coming to the network is so high. The variants are different. Maybe the types of same, but they are acting in a separate way, right? Maybe a same kind of malware is basically targeted to your JPG file. Now similar kind of the malware will come tomorrow. It will only act or only take some actions against your PDF files, right? So in those cases, those are the newly evolved malwares. We need to get protections against them, because the zero-day things will not get solved from your traditional antivirus solutions, right? Then we have correlations factor. Now correlations, as in like, so you have multiple layers of security. Now the problem with the recent world or the architecture is the integrations between each and every devices. So we are putting multiple devices in multiple layers, but we are not integrating them properly. So that is the point, because at that particular point, the devices are not talking to each other, right? And they're not sharing their intelligence to each other. So we need a better correlations engine, which can take the events from all of them, correlate them, give advanced correlations, and give a very good the responses against each and every thread, right? So that is also important. Then automates the analyst research process. So as I mentioned, the number of events are more, a particular human resource or an analyst will not be able to identify each and everything. So that there should be a process which gives the automations, to identify each and everything within a stipulated time or the SLA time frame, right? So that is also important. And then defending network against hard to identify APTs. So APT is like the zero-day attacks, right? Again, I just mentioned earlier also. So there are 0 day types for which you don't have the signatures from the traditional antivirus. So for that you need to depends on a solution which gives you behavioral based protections, and that particular protections you will get from APT solutions. But as I mentioned also, that APT solutions most of the times they fail because the virus, the malwares and all, they are very much aware of your the virtual environment, right? So they will not open up their main instinct to act, right? So those are a couple of challenges. To protect against those challenges or to give a safeguard, we should go for a machine learning thing, machine learning and the artificial intelligence solutions. Next slide that we have, how accelerate this machine learning or AI, artificial intelligence into your decision making, right? So these are a couple of points that we can identify here. Now the identifiers of anomalous event, right? Now, for example, you have your 5 resources to categorize all the events that you are getting from different resources. Now it may possible sometimes they miss something, right? But if you have a machine learning or the AI, artificial intelligence, there you already stored a huge database against the experience that you have in the past, right? Now whenever a new threat is coming, it is automatically going and checking your database and see if there is already the response is already available there or not. If that is already available, it will immediately give you the verdicts. It will immediately say that for this particular response, this particular event, this is the response, and that is the way you should act on. If something is new to the environment, and then it will go for your the manual analysis, because it is important. They will analyze this particular event, and then after the analysis, it will again go and store your database, which is basically stored for your artificial intelligence, right? Now, next time maybe when similar kind of things will come, then it will take a reference from your back data, right? So that is how the identifier is being done. Now, aggregate multiple data streams. So as I mentioned, you have multiple data resources and the correlations, for the correlations or the integrations, you might have a challenge, but here you can integrate all your different devices in a single platform. It will collect logs from everywhere. It will give you a single frame to monitor each and every events, each and every activities. It will give you a dashboard, and that dashboard will give you the information for each and every activities that is happening in your environment. Right? Then recognize known and unknown patterns. So it's pretty much similar, like as I mentioned, you have your own database which is already a kind of reserved database which already been mapped with some kind of response or the activities, and then you have your newly the unknown threats are there, right? So whatever, if something is there which is well known to the environment, you have your database ready, it will immediately act upon. And then if you have something which is unknown to the environment or unknown to your analyst, they will act on that. They will put some kind of the feedback on that and the response of against that particular event, and it will again go and store on your database for the future references. Then incorporate analyst feedback so that underlying models learn human process or human responses. So again, as I mentioned, if something is new, then you need to act. So machine cannot act on new things. It doesn't know about what exactly it is. So it will go to your next level, which is your human analyst of there. You will get that particular incident. You will analyze that thing. You will recommend the actions against those particular events. And then once it's been done and solved, then it will go and store your database for the future things, right? So that way, it's the machine learning or the artificial intelligence cycle is going. So it's a never-ending cycle, right? So now today you're learning something, you have to keep that thing ready for the future reference. Then tomorrow again, you have to go for the same process. If something is well known, it will be rectified immediately. If something is unknown, then the analyst needs to act on that and put a verdict against that, right? Then presents actionable evidence behind its conclusions. So, like as I mentioned, so if something is already there, something is already known, they will give you the response, what exactly to be done, and the reference or the strong point against that particular action is already been stored. You have already given that similar kind of resolutions in the past, and you got that, the result, applying that particular response, right? So you have the references, and you have the evidence also. Correct? Then, so same thing, has been already described, Mr. President, in his last, descriptions. That so there are, we have the left side, we have the multiple number of devices, right? Those devices are mostly your infrastructure devices, your security devices, endpoints, and all those things. And those are sending data. You have maybe a SIM solutions, which basically gets all the logs and giving you a dashboard, the correlations, all those things there. But again, if you have for example, if you have 5 numbers of the resources, human resources, or the analyst who is analyzing those many alerts, it's very much hard, and it's hard to give a solution against the set time, whatever time you're committing to the end customers, right? So it's better if you use artificial intelligence or machine learning solutions over there. What will happen? So if similar kinds of events are coming, which it's already acted previously, it will immediately get a reference from the the database. It will give a response against them, right? Now, whatever the filtered or the known threats are there, it will only go to your the analyst. So the time they will take, they can spend a quality time investing investing more on the new threats rather the old threats which is already been done, somewhere maybe past, right? So those data you are already having in your database. You need not to put efforts to investigate those, right? So this is even that is the good features of the artificial intelligence, where you can use the the experience of your past. You can store the experience for the future reference, and immediately you can provide a response for that, right? Now, this is the the architecture we basically follows here. So we have 3 different layers. The left side is that you have a different business units. You have your people resources, you have your applications, you have your endpoints, your network components, your data, all those things. Now, to protect those things, you need a solutions, and in between we have the management, right? So you need a management tool to manage all those things. So people can be managed by your IAM or the the resource management, the physical and the asset management. Applications can be managed by your application team. Endpoints also. So in between we have the management team, and we mapped each and every solution, each and every management to a particular solutions, right? If you say the access of resources, it should be through our IAM solutions, identity and access management, right? Who should have access? Who should have the access, who should not have the access, right? And then for the endpoints, you have endpoint security solutions. For the data, you have DLP, data loss prevention solutions, which should say that which data you can transfer, which data you should not transfer. It should be within your organizations, right? And then you have the physical security as well. So those are a couple of points for which we can give a services, for each and every solutions that we have, right? Those are our view against all the management layer that you have. So you have a command and control center, you have a security, policy management, and then you have your risk and control management, right? Now for that, if you use the normal traditional way of securing those things, there could be a chance of the integration between each and every layer, or integration between each and every devices, right? Now in that case, you should have the automated workflow, which should say, from the point of generation an event, where it should go. So maybe the event generation, then it should go for your incident locking or the incident raising stage, and then it should go and alert to a set of your users who will be acting on those particular things. So those workflow is very much important, right? Normally when you go for a traditional way, the integration and the workflow is not written properly. But if you use this AI, it will help us to give a good workflow, so that each and every incident that is happening, we should track them properly. We should give a proper resolutions for those particular events, right? Similar way, the policy enforcement gaps are like technology control and the decision making points, right? So for that also we can use the AI matrix monitoring and the enablement, the points, which gives a more the convenient resolutions for it. Then we have, so identity and access management and data loss information. Similar way, identity and access management, if you say, the problem is, the who should, get the access? The actual owner of the particular solutions, right? May possible that you have the database, which is very much important, and it should get accessed by a specific set of users, which is basically using, read and write those particular database. But in other sense, you have to give access to your database admin also, and database admins having a maximum number of the access, and you can read and write anything. You can destroy the database completely, right? So there we should give a proper justifications. Who should get access, like what level? Maybe read, somebody get read, somebody get write, somebody get both read and write, and the deletions also. So those kind of workflow is hard to manage manually. Rather than if you go for AI solutions, it will give you a more better feature, more better workflow, how to do all those different activities. Now at the end, so this AI or the machine learning language, is it as a blessing for us, or it can be a curse basically, right? Now the thing is that, as I mentioned, this AI or the machine learning language, it basically stores your logs, your database, right? It's a huge database, and for example, if somebody or some hacker got access of your database and he changed something. So if you take an example, right, a particular signature of file which is maybe X, if it comes into your environment, is a malicious. It has the malicious effects. Now you have the similar response. You faced the similar situation earlier and stored the same thing in your database. Now somebody got access of your database and he changed that the response. He made that if you get signature or the virus X, then it should not be deleted or killed. It should you should allow this particular thing. Now, if you change like that, whenever in future you will get a similar kind of attacks, what it will do, AI will allow that. It will allow that particular signature or the virus to get into your network and do whatever it wants or act for, right? So that is the reason if you are using AI, we should make a proper the boundary around that, so that nobody can get the access of the actual database to tamper it, right? Now, so there are a couple of different ways to act or to reserve or secure that particular database. So probably the next slide that we have, that is our suggestions, why you should use and how you should protect your AI. So whenever you are, you think you should go for artificial intelligence, you should implement that. You should basically hire or contract an expert on that, right? Because expert opinion is very much important. What you should integrate and what you should not, right? So that is one point. Then you have the inventory AI initiative across the enterprise. So, for example, you have different organizations or the sub-organizations within your organizations. Then you should not you should implement this AI for financial or the HR sections. So the rest is is not important. So whenever you are going for for implementation, you should go for the overall the organizations. It may be a phase wise, but you should implement for everything. Because what happens if you implement AI for a separate zone and the other zone is neglected, then some kind of attacks will come there, and lateral movement, right? Lateral movement can happen from that zone to the other secure zone. It will come, so it can affect all your the investment you have done for AI, right? The assess AI technologies as both weapons and attack vectors. Why so? Because the AI at the end, it will give you a robust response mechanism. It will give you a very speedy, response mechanism. But at the same time, you should assess that particular solution, that this is a point from where external attackers should come, and it can invade and it can, attack your database. So you apply that as a secure for your internal zone. As soon as you can create a protection layer around the AI system also, so that your AI or the main the database that you have, it should not get affected, right? It should be well and active and should share all the the accurate data to you to analyze each and every event, right? Then basically to save the data, the integrity of the data, you can use an encryption mechanism also, which is basically encrypt your data and store it. So somebody can get into it, you'll not be able to understand, because anyway those are the cipher format. And then sign the data whenever you are sharing the data to anybody else who will be act on those particular data. So you should sign it so that you will get a hash value of that. And then when somebody tries to change that particular the response, it will get a different hash value, right? So if you compare both, the hash values will be different, right? So you can identify that this particular response has been changed, right? So you can immediately identify there is a breach happened. So you should sign data whenever you are sharing to the further for the analyst, right? Then you should have a strong control. You should have a strong control. So as I mentioned earlier, also you should implement IL solutions, like you should get the access of your database, who is the the privileged users or the actual users of the database. So they should get the access. They should change this data or maybe update the data, but not everybody, right? So you should make a good access control around your AI system, and as well as the privileged user management. Right, so that is PIM solution, so you used to call it Privileged Identity Access Management. So it basically helps you to give access against, a particular access against that particular solutions, right? So that nobody else, the people having, don't have the access, they cannot access those particular database and keep some changes on that, right? So, those are the suggestions that you have, and then just briefly describe what exactly we are doing and what about us. So we are basically we are the collaborating two different teams together is TMI-IT and the Inspira team. I said about TMI-IT is started in 2003. They are quite big in Southeast Asia, and they have around 20 plus customers in this particular region, right? And they have the MOF registered company there and MSC status company also. If you talk about Inspira, is one of the leading IT solutions provider in India. Is our best focus in the PSU, government, and the BFSI sector. We have done quite big projects over there: the data center building, the CSOC building, cyber security operations center building. We have done the state WAN, like wide area network connectivity, LAN connectivity. So we have a quite good number of experience there. Then we have a very good pre-sales and the post-sales team, back with the sales teams also, who can deliver a good solutions along a good with a good architecture, right? The solutions architecture, right? So that is how we are. And then this is our TMI-IT SOC, which is in KL. If you see, it's a 1,000 square feet area that we have our own SOC there, and it's a 27,001 certified. So we are having 24/7, 365 days supporting. The people are always be there. They are always ready to help you if something is happened and some kind of problem is there, right? Our base SIM system is built on IBM QRadar with the XGen and the intelligence feed that we have, right? So we are getting intelligence feed from Global Threat Intelligence, which is provided by IBM itself. So they have a very global, large global presence. They have multiple customers from where they are getting the intelligence, and the same thing we are using here. So if something is already there, we can immediately use that particular response for the future things, right? Along with that, the SLA, obviously all those things are there. That is it's very much important to provide services. Then these are the couple of services that we are providing. So based on the identity and access management, we have this single sign-on, then privileged identity access management, multi-factor authentications, and then if you go for the network and gateway security, we have things GFW, UTM, IPS, IDS, Then we have NAC, NAC. So all those different components that we are we can build for you, right? Then we have security governance and compliance also. We have a separate team who basically manages the governance team, like PCI cases also we are doing, where we have the raid team who can act on the events, which is very much critical. Then we have our own SOC team who are there for 24/7, who are monitoring this, the customers and giving the resolutions to them. Then the other side, we have the application and data security. So we have our own AppSec team who basically do and go for application security, the audit and the give the remediations against them. And then we have the endpoint and mobility management team also, who is basically doing the endpoint, the antivirus installation, the mobile device management, EMM, the MDM, MM, all those things, right? So we have a full-fledged team who can act on any kind of required the architecture that you want, right? Because we have a good experience on data center building. We have done a couple of good data center, done for Indian and state governments, right? So a couple of references that we have. It's recently that we have done. One is POS Malaysia, and that is again IBM Curator. And then we have CDSL, Royal Sundaram Bank of Maharashtra. Bank of Maharashtra is a very large PSU government bank, which is having more than 2,000 branches over India, all over India. So we have done also. So mostly the IBM Curator and McAfee, which are basically leaders in the SIM, as per the Gartner report, right? And then few testimonies that you have received from a couple of our, the customers that we have. And then it's, thank you. So it's then thanks a lot.
We'll proceed with the cyber session. We have one question for.
Nice. As I mentioned, the AI and ML is very much important. Why so? Because we need to act faster way, right? Because if you go to customers, customer will ask for SLA. Customer will say, what is your response time, right? Now, if you see that people are using SIM tool. Now, SIM also giving a good correlations. If you're getting 1,000 events, SIM will reduce it maybe to 500 or 400, right? Now, again, if you have SOC team with the analyst, maybe 5, 6, or 9, right? It's hard to them to analyze all the known events or the unknown events because they need to act both the ways, right? Now, that is the good thing if you use AI at least. So what it will help? It will further reduce your 400 number of events to maybe 200 or 100 because there are some events which are already been there in the in the repository. So you can act on those faster way, and you can invest a good time on the newer the tickets. So for that you always need the human resource or the security analyst who can act on those, who can give their response or the verdict against each and every event, right? So I don't think that it will it will going to decrease, but again, as the other guest mentioned, right, the opportunity of the security engineers will go high if we go further, right? Because the investment is more, you are expanding your devices, number of devices are also increasing, and you need a good result against any kind of attacks, right? So maybe proactive, not the reactive one, right? For that, you need resources who can act. But act on the actuals, not the duplications. The duplications you can, give to our AI and ML so that they can act on first on that, right? Is it done? Is it okay for? Yeah.
So thank you once again, Mr. Sprava, for sharing on the importance of AI and machine learning, especially. Okay. So before we go out for our lunch, we'll proceed with the mementos presentation for our guest speakers. So may I request the Director of Jabatan Perkhidmatan Komputer Negeri, yang berbahagia Datuk Dr. Haji Minggu, to come up to the stage to present mementos to the guest speakers. Present all the guest speakers to come up to the stage. Next, Mr. Clement. Basil. And Mr. Suprama. Datuk. Okay, before we go out for lunch, a little for our Muslim friends. Okay, for your information. Okay, the prayer room is located near the hibiscus room. It is on this floor as well. Okay, and lunch will be provided next to this ballroom. Okay, so I hope to see everyone back again sharp at 2 p.m. Okay, thank you.